a skill. No one can take that skill away from you once you learn it. And we want to not check and think which one of them is better, which of them is better advice. The man we are telling you, say, sit down and wait, let me come give you no. The very same giveaway mentality where you hear the PMP preach today, a hit, mash up Jamaica. The giveaway mentality. When Michael Manley took office, what the gentleman is saying, don't beg people to vote for no party. People big and no like right from, and no know right from wrong. So why you telling me? Not understand. Hold on, I go again, David Jarrett. Don't beg people to vote for no party. People big. I said people big and know right from wrong. So I tell you, boy, David Jarrett, you have to tell people here, because there are people out there who is telling them the wrong thing. So you have to have a little counterbalance. So yes, David Jarrett, people should be big. We could expect that people big and know right from wrong, David, and that is what we should expect. But that is not the reality. The reality, there are still people out there that are confused and need to be pointed in the right direction. So yes, we have to do it. We wish we didn't have to, but we have to do it, David. We have to do it. Right. So this, when Manley inherited Jamaica in 19... inherited Jamaica, it was the fastest growing economy in the world. And because of the giveaway mentality, now I don't want you to get us wrong, you know. The Jamaica Labour Party do believe in social programs. We believe that government have a responsibility to those who can't and to those who need some help. Yes, the government have that responsibility, and that is why the school bus system is being implemented, because we believe in that responsibility. But what Michael Manley did with that responsibility was to believe that social programs alone can solve all of Jamaican problems. So he went out giving away every single cent that this country had. Yes, that's some of you people who are still loyal to Michael Manley today, because back then he did go one check for $20. Yes, he give until Jamaica never have nothing less to give. And because of that giving, we went from being the fastest growing economy in the world in 1972. We went from having one of the strongest net international reserve, which is at the time was $146 million. By 1974, we had minus $600 million. Our economy moved from a growth of 18.5% to minus 5%. And we have been in that hole since. When the business community started to speak against Michael and say, Michael, your policies are not good. He said, 5 flights a day. If you don't like when me, I do leave. That is where the giving mentality come from. Now, as I said before, the Jamaica Labour Party, we're not against social projects. In fact, if you should check over the years coming up, the Jamaica Labour Party government has implemented more social projects to benefit the Jamaican people than every single PMP government combined. The Jamaica Labour Party is the party that cares about the poor, not the PMP. Don't be fooled. Hold on. TikTok give me puzzle. Shit. Hold on. TikTok give me puzzle. There we go. Yes. The Jamaica Labour Party is the party that has always cared about the poor in Jamaica. There is no record, nowhere to prove that the PMP has done more to alleviate poverty than the Jamaica Labour Party. What the PMP do to poverty is to use it against you people. And that is why now they are still using it against you. That's why they are telling you, don't use the school bus to bring your picnic to school so you can break the generational curse. When the PMP under Percival Patterson combine the poor relief program and the food stamp program and call it part, they never try to give you away half of it. It is Andrew Michael Wholeness who come in and say, listen to me now, we are going to implement something that is called the Jamaica Hope for 60 Trust Fund. That says, this generation, the 2022 generation, will not come to dependent part. Want to understand, you know. Andrew Wholeness said the 2022 generation won't come to dependent part. Thank you, Crossing. Yes, so he implemented the Jamaica Hope for 60 Trust Fund that says, whenever, if you are a child and part or a ward of the state, and you're born in 2022 as of August 5th, you will have a trust fund in your name set up by your government. So when you get to a certain age, that money will be available to you to either further your education, start a business, or buy a home. So that government, so basically 18 years from now, Jamaica will be taking people off of the part program, because we are giving that generation away out of it. And we are hoping that generation will pull the next one out of it. The PMP has never implemented anything like that. What the PMP ever do is to use your poverty against you, is to hold it against you. Andrew Wholeness said, listen to me, rise up. Not because you're poor, the PMP say, well, you don't have to do nothing, man, because you're poor. Think of the difference. Mark Golding and the PMP is telling you, say, because you're poor, you don't have to do nothing. Andrew Wholeness is telling you, say, do not let your poverty dictate your future. Think of the difference in the message. One man come a while ago and tell me, say, Mark Golding him choose. We choose Jamaica. We choose Jamaica. And we choose it today, we'll choose it tomorrow, and we will choose it the next day. Today, tomorrow, and the other day. Today, tomorrow, and the other day. And we ask the question.
Who you voting for? Labour. Who you voting for? Vote for Labour Party.
Vote for.
We must save our country. Hold on to the Labour Party. Hold on for our posterity. Who you voting for?
Labour.
Who you voting for? Labour. Who you voting for? Labour. Who you voting for? Vote for the Labour Party. Hold on, we must save our country.
Make sure you bring out Marilyn.
Who you voting for? Labour. Who you voting for?
Labour. What we doing, Labour Party? Labour Party marching on.
marching on to victory. Labour Party marching, Labour Party marching, marching on to victory. Labour Party marching on, all right, marching on to victory.
Mary, what you say about your neighbor?
Labour Party marching, marching on to victory. Jump and shout,
Wave is all about.
we shall have the victory. Jump and shout, tell it all about, we shall have the victory. Come now, we and the neighbor, oh yes, voting for Labour. All right, we and the neighbor, bring them, voting for Labour. Carry them, we and the neighbor,
Voting for Labour.
voting for Labour. All right, jump and shout, tell it all about.
We shall have the victory.
We are gonna make a change. Yes, we will now. Jamaica need a chance to turn the lives around. We are gonna make a change. Tell them again.
Meet your better way.
Oh yes, we are gonna make a change. Jamaica need a chance to turn the lives around. We are gonna make a change.
Yes. And today the Jamaica Labour Party is still giving people a chance to turn their life around. My Prime Minister said, don't make people use uno poverty against uno. Do not let people trick uno. Don't make Peter Bunting, who for picnic don't know what it is like to stand up a roadside and wait for a bus. Peter Bunting picnic them don't know what it is like for when one bus come and hear the words, no school has Panawania. Yeah? Peter Bunting picnic don't know what that is like. For the home 6, 7 o'clock and your picnic can't reach home yet because them can't get no transport. Peter Bunting don't know what that feeling is like. None of the picnic them not understand when them have to push and pull and poke. Peter Bunting don't know what it is like when you go in a one bus as a schoolers and somebody come in and you say, get up and something there. Peter Bunting picnic don't know those feelings. Peter Bunting don't know what that is like. Peter Bunting don't know what that is like. So don't let Peter Bunting come and tell you, say, oh, don't put your picnic on a bus. My apologies. Don't make Peter Bunting come tell you say don't put your picnic on a bus. Right? Him don't know what those things are like. Him live in a privilege. Him picnic them grow up in a privilege. Him picnic them go school in a privilege. Why should you let him come and tell you, say, listen to me. Me see, oh, them are bringing bus to do this. He spent 18 years as a party in a government. Why did not his government bring in some buses to save your life? Ask yourself that question, comrades. When them come to know telling about this bus, when them come and talk about an old bus, when they let Jamaica, buses were cheaper than they are now. Gas price was cheaper than they are now. They could have gotten 2 times the amount of bus where we have now for less than the money where we are spending now, because they led this country in a better time for the world. Why didn't they see the need? Why they didn't see the need to implement a bus system to make going to school easier for you? Why never do that? The people of central Manchester, who most of them never knew what asphalt would look like until Rhoda Crawford take over. Central Manchester that served Peter Bunting for 3 elections. Most part of it did not know what it was like to have asphalt in their community until Rhoda Crawford took over. And that's the man that come here and tell you, say, don't send no bus. Hold on, let me find which party said the bus them come again. Hold on. Give me a second there. When I first good, I have to clean off one of my phone with the information, so I have to try to recover it. I said, I find it here. Which party said the bus them not come? He's telling the government not to send no bus come benefit one of him area, you know. The man who are run to represent the people, I tell the government, why me they say them I send one bus come here so, but if they send it come a problem, eh? One dagger for the PMP, a man who go by the name of Voice of the Nation. Say it, the bus them to run off a cliff. The bus them we are carry our children to run off a cliff. That's how me hear. Now, the sad truth is if somebody did tell me same say it, I wouldn't believe them. If somebody did tell me same say it, I wouldn't believe them.
No, I'm going to say this to you, Blair. You heard...
Oh, sorry, that's not what I want to hear. I don't want to hear no excellence. I try to find Peter Bunting telling us which part the bus them go. Which part is they want the government bus to go? I know I have it here. Sorry, I would have, if I didn't have to clean up for my device. I feel like the PMP them send something to corrupt my device. Where is Mercat? Find me Mercat speaking on the buses. That's kind of hard to find. Give me a second. Just 1 second, it there. We that play it just yesterday, you know. The man said, the bus, the Penny Hill, I think I push it or something like that in Sefichu, in a Fiend constituency. So the people them, that Peter, I'm one of the people them who have to understand these things, you know. So the people them that he is hoping to represent, he's making a representation that they will not be given any of the school bus. You see, you have to listen to them thing there, no people. The man said, the people where I represent, the government officer said, no bus come serve, feed them children. Again, I ask, has Peter Bunting children ever taken a bus to school? Peter Bunting, Finn Pitney them take bus to school? This is the discussion. This is the discussion where me challenge any comrade to come and have with me. Justify a Peter Bunting telling the people them say, why, you know, say that bus are no good. Justify that. Justify Mark Golding. The sad part, you know, Renee, the sad part is that the answer is yes, because when he said it, Renee, the crowd cheer. And that is the thing, when you have influence and you use it wrong to people, it is dangerous. So yes, they had a crowd, what I describe as simple-minded people. Yes. They know that crowd listen to everything them say. So that very crowd though, when them dress up them picnic September morning and see the bus come, I go say, no, but Mr. Bunting did say this. We know as a Jamaicans work, you know. That's what Jamaicans were. Jamaicans, when you put on suit and tie, Jamaican believes everything you say is lying. Sad but true. Sad but true. That is the problem, Rene. Sadly, that is the problem. That is the problem. Right? But we have to try to make these people understand that the bus system, this bus here, the bus system also, is not a government, is not a Jamaica Labour Party initiative. It's a government of Jamaica. It's not coming from Belmont Road. It is coming from Jamaica House. It is not to benefit labor rights. It is to benefit Jamaicans. And whether or not you vote for labor, you vote for PMP, put your people on a bus, send them go to school. Don't let people like Peter Bunting and Mark Golden, whose child never sit on a public bus in their entire life, do not let them come here and influence you know. Boy, Tiny, I tell you, Tiny, I don't think you know the half of it. I don't think you know the half of it, Tiny. Why am I here? Why am I sitting on social media telling Jamaican people that this bus is a good thing? Why do I have to do that? Somebody said earlier, said, boy, me must stop it because people are big people and they know right from wrong. Why am I here? Why do I have to do this? Me have a bed, you know, me no want nothing on the bed when me have, you know. Me pay for it already, you know. Me can't go sleep. Me can't chew on my clothes and go beach. He's not offering no alter. Here's the problem now, Lady Ambitious. Peter Bunting is in a position to go in a bank account and buy 10 bus. It's up at the same people them. Listen to me, Lady Ambitious. It's up at the same people them I tell them to take a bus. Peter Bunting have the ability to go in and pocket and buy 10 bus and put it on the road up there and there's a better school bus here. He can do that, you know, he have the money to do it. But he's not offering them any alternative. All them I tell them say, no, take the bus. He has the ability to have the money when he can buy 10 bus and give them up there so run them here. But him telling them not to take the bus is about his interest and not theirs. That night, big up. Peter Bunting cares zero about the people in a Manchester where much I represent. He was rejected by one section of Manchester and is hoping to find a home in another. When he lost to Rhoda Crawford, his reason for losing was that him and the wash-up Dan, as him called it, fall out. You see, no, it's not it's a Lady Ambitious. I don't want it to be a case where all the labor right them take it. No, it's not a labor right thing. It's a government of Jamaica, right? So when a lawmaker sit on the platform and try to convince people, oh, the government are bringing some bus to do this to your picnic, and you hear civic Jamaican just sit down quiet and say nothing about it. But when Warmington use the word fuck, and believe me, say I can understand why most of them people are in the civic group them upset at the word fuck. And most of them, if you look upon them, they're not fuckable. That's why the word fuck offend them. When you look upon most of them, because the call a woman, it might well turn up off her and chop it off. Most of them, when you see in a social group, they're not fuckable. Them man not fuck them. So they were offended by that term. I understand. Me understand why they were offended by that term. But when one PMP member turn up and say, them ready for war, them get them training, them have them shoes. Now, when they talk about the shoes, we remember a famous artist that went to prison because somebody lose him shoes and him have to chop them up fine. Now this PMP representative went on the platform and tell the people them say, all we get training, we have we shoes, we have we man them, and we ready for war. And not one of the civic group them come out and say, Me see Dr. Fitzhenley, we run one of the little Obia church. Upper Mark Golden consists one little Obia church. Him come out and talk about it, but he never have a problem with the people ready for war. One more lady go up on stage and say all who switch from the PMP are going to end up in a one ditch. Not one of them have a problem with that. Mark Golden go up on the platform and say, the jungle man them give me strength. I'm not afraid of no boy. No, we all know what jungle is famous for. We know where them famous for. No? So when you come and you say the jungle man them a defend me. Yes, them have him back. It was Mark Golden who go up on the platform and say, the labor right there now go Lego this, you know. So if we want it, we have to go get wicked upon them. These are the utterances coming from the People's National Party. And the only time you hear civics groups say anything is when Warmington say fuck. All of these threats of violence from the People's National Party, and the only time civic group had a problem is because Warmington used the word fuck. And again, I understand why most of these people are offended by the term, is because they are not fuckable. So they now get no fuck. 48 laws. Is that thing that we've been trying to check, but we can't get an exact count. I know very few of them that does it. I think me know said Natalie need to get 2 in a fair constituency. Hilton get 2. Of course you can, sir, winner. Winner, man, you know you say you're a resident over here, you know. You have room and board over here, so you don't need to ask. You have a key. Yeah, but
Mr. I know when monologue, you know, the folks that kind of enjoy the monologue, so I tend not to want to disturb. But I want to add something to the meat of the matter in terms of the rural bus system that is being imposed. Do you know the average age of the United States school bus system? What the average age of the buses are?
You know, I've never checked.
The average age is 9.5 years, and they go as far as 16 years. So the chance of a Jamaican leaving and migrating to the United States and having their child travel on a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 15-year-old vehicle and a 16-year-old school bus is extremely high. Extremely high. Now, do you know what the average age of the buses that are coming to Jamaica, what they are?
About 10?
8 to 10 years old.
8 to 10 years old, all right.
So they are actually at what the average age of the United States bus system is. So it's no different. No different from you.
Absolutely no different.
And putting them on a bus in the United States, the same number of years. that the average bus system in the United States, is the same amount of years that these buses are in Jamaica. The oldest one that they got was the one that they got in Portland, which was they used as the trial phase, which was 16 years old. It was made in 2009 with 136,000 kilometers on it, and it has a Cummins engine in it. That is one of the strongest engines you can ever find in one of those buses or a truck. And those had maintenance schedule, so it's not like the Darrell Vaz, when they donated that, they did not look at the maintenance history of these buses. They looked at every single thing that associated with buses and said, okay, at 16-year-old, we are going to use this as a test model to see if that is workable in Jamaica, the prototype. But when we are buying... But you have to also add that the one that came to Portland, remember that first one was the one that they begged. Yeah, that was done. To use in Portland only. Yeah. That was a big. But the one that we bought that was that money, the average age is between 8 to 10 years. Chuck, that was why me a regular Jamaican buy one used car. Buy one car, yes. No. Yes. Outside of that, Chuck, the buses are coming with some safety features that are necessary to protect our kids. Driver monitoring system. So we are monitoring the drivers them. Right? So they can't depend on bus a smoke, they can't depend on bus a drink, they can't depend on bus a do all manner of things. CCTV. So you are knowing that you're sending your child on the bus, they're not being bullied, they're not carry weapons, they're not fight. Right? They have a dispatch management system, just like how you dispatch the buses from the JUTC and they get monitored and know where their arrival at what particular time. So parents will have a better ability to monitor their kids upon arrival. Speed control. Gone are the days when hot press foot with a child sitting at the back or in the trunk and them a fly. No, these things are governed to make sure that they travel safely on our road. Mechanical alerts. Yes, uniform is the most tiny. Yes, there will be uniform and there will be a supervisor on the bus. Uniform, man. There will be a supervisor on the bus. Mechanical alerts. If something goes wrong with the bus, these mechanical alerts will pop up because these buses, they are built for rear end collision, front end collision, and side collision. So that is why over the years, the United States has never changed how these buses look, Chuck, because they are built to specifically on front end, rear end, and side end collision protection for the kids. And we're gonna have a maintenance. For those of you who don't understand what the rear end collision mean, it means that there is a cushion between the back of the bus and the first seat at the back of the bus. Yes, sir. So if something running at the back of the bus, it has to break down and hold it for something around there before it actually get to another seat to damage somebody. And the sides are reinforced. So you can see the engine, look at the front of the bus. Anything where lick the bus, have to mash up all of this first before it start inside. And the sides are reinforced. Yes. I'm not even sure if it's steel, but it's reinforced. So they are protected from all angles. Right? And even if the bus overturned as well, the top, they are reinforced. So it top now crush like those regular crush. Yeah. So they are protected from and the chassis is reinforced as well, Mr. Chuck. Parental control portal. You will be able to go on the app and say, okay, I put Mary Jane. I watch Mary Jane boarded the bus at 6 o'clock from my gate. I'll be able to go on the app, Chuck, and check my child on the way to school. You will see all the stops, and therefore I know that my child is not changing clothes and gone over taximan yard. Gonna have a good day because it bus, I can check it and know that my child is at home. Or at school, or at home. Which is you're not sitting on nobody's lap. Yes, so exactly. So you're not sitting on nobody's lap, you don't have to worry about that. So there'll be a reporting and analytic generation to provide detailed usage data for the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Transport surrounding the effectiveness of the transportation and if there is any adjustment that is necessary to make sure that the thing is done. This is first class, first world type of approach. And I'm asking comrades to ask Mr. Peter Bunting and Mark Golding if they allow their kids or grandkids, if they would allow their kids and grandkids to travel on the transportation system that they have recommended with giving taximan a food to carry their people. If it is safe and convenient, where Mark Golding and Peter Bunting would use that for their own kids and grandkids, we welcome the idea. Because you and I know, Chuck, they never are going to put them picking in the hands of taxi drivers. They not do it. But they will encourage you to take away the best opportunity that your kids has ever gotten. I remember when the crashes took place at Homewood Technical. Father Chuck. The first time I was there on the scene. When the first, nobody died, but a girl from Christiana, she went into coma. I don't know what became of her. The driver's foot was broken in many places. Right there, just as you pass the school gate, collision. Chuck, I remember one morning, I was waiting on my best friend. And for some reason, I left him. But there was a little old man who used to go, because I used to go to Homewood. There was a little old man. Nobody wanted to take him in the morning, but I used to go with him because he's safe, him drive safe. And the morning I was waiting on my best friend and he was late. And he said, don't let me, don't let me. And I said, no, I have to go to school because my man go to school early. And when I was at school, class start Chuck and I wonder what happened to him. Only to hear that my best friend was in an accident. If I had waited on him, I would have been in that accident. His foot was broken in many places. He was out of school for 1 year because of the damage that was done to him. And we're saying to our parents, the government is providing a safe and effective mechanism for your child to be transported to school. But not let Peter Bunting, Mark Golding, and the PMP telling us they are all bus. Because according to the United States system, the average bus is 9.5 years on the roads of America. And we're getting bus between the range of 8 to 10 years old. That is at the mean of international standard. So this lie that they're telling us about their old buses, they're lying to the people of Jamaica.
I want to add now that the average age of the same BMW, them one, you see the BMW where people pose up there and say, may I drive a Beamer? Check out the average years of them BMW there. 8 to 10 years old. The Mercedes-Benz, we see, majority of them, average age, same 8 to 10 years old. I drive up. The average year of the coaster bus, we see on the road, 10 to 15 years old.
More than that, Chuck.
I don't know the age of the AR wagons. Yes, thank you. We don't know the age of that.
I figure I want to say something else about a wagon. Come on, time out.
Yeah, you probably want to use a number. Where's the Clive? You want to say something, Clive, you with?
Yes. So me have me have 2 points. The first point I have to say, the first thing I have to say, I think what the PNP has done by attacking this new initiative by the government to provide rural buses for kids, they have blundered big time, because guess what? A well-thinking Jamaicans who is looking on the system, it hasn't been tried yet to say it's a failure or whatever. And they are already attacking it. So people, we have sense, I look on and I say, I realize, say, why, then this a government and I really mean Jamaican picking up.
No, not the government, the party.
You know what I mean, yeah.
Not the party there.
Yeah, but I think them shoot themselves.
Well, let's try to finish first and then we come to
Because think about it. If you was an undecided voter and you see where something like this can benefit your kids, and you see a next party come in and attack it, without credibility, you're gonna look and say, no man, them people are not really mean Jamaica no good. You understand me? So that's my first point. My second point is, anybody who has sense will see that this is a good thing. Because a lot of the taxi operators and bus driver in Jamaica, if you feel make a run through, at least 80% of them now have no, how would you put it now? Not training and how to drive on our roads. And that's a fact. Everybody know in Jamaica, you just either you jump around on car steering and you say you're a driver once you can't move it. Because of that me do. Nobody never teach me to drive. And when me left out of Jamaica and want a different license now, me have to pay me money and learn how to read road signs and all these things and which lane to go in when you want to merge and all these things. And me did a drive in Jamaica for years and me still fail around 3 times before me eventually.
And Clive,
that just
let me
show
add
you.
something to you. Let me add something to you, Clive, for a second. And you know you're right, and I'm gonna say this to you, right? You probably, I don't know if they think of this. How do we have so much taxes on the road in Jamaica? We get the tax to them because there was a time in Jamaica where majority of the business were being closed down. And the only option people have was to buy one car and go run 2 taxis. So you're right, there was no training to get into the profession. Once you have a car, you go run taxi. Simple, so you're correct.
But not even that, Chuck. It was this government that said, listen, okay, we understand that you want to have taxi on the road, but the taxi must be in a particular condition or state. You must upgrade. And that is why they prevented a certain age to start coming to the country. Yeah, that is why the taxi fleet itself, you see, it look better than now. It used to be some rundown old car them are using to carry people.
You know, so them 2 points them want to make still. So, you know what I mean? Yeah.
All right. Thank you, my boss. Thank you.
Yes,
Craig.
yes. Chuck, I don't know. It come like you when me come on the platform, it come like you that read my mind, man. Chuck, me come off of one platform about 1 o'clock this morning with the same topic. And me see you have 192 people over here. No, I am not talking to anybody in the box now. Cause uno know the truth already. But you see the people them will listen, probably not understand, and probably want to make sense out of nonsense. Let me explain something to you. Because I asked a PMP last night on a platform to explain something to me because they said that the PMP party is a party of the educated. So me and my little dumb self asked a question last night to a very educated PMP. So you have 2 scenarios, one on the left and one on the right. So the major scenario there in the middle and the solution there on the left and one on the right. This scenario, yes, PMP, we soon talk to you. The scenario in the middle is that schoolers can't reach a school because taxi not available. Schoolers are paying too much money for go to school, the parents.
Just start now.
No. Right? Schoolers are paying too much money because taxi man charge them too much. Schoolers, taxi man drive recklessly with schoolers and them overcrowd the vehicle them. Now, a government look at all of that scenario and say, all right, this is a problem for education. Because if when them are reach a school late, if they do reach early, them are reach in our hostile environment because them are drive recklessly with them. So we need to provide a solution. Now the government, so 2 solutions come out now. One on the left, one on the right is that the government come and say, all right, we're going to provide bus to rural areas. Parents now have to think about this hell of a fear, they will have to pay $500 a day for fear. They can cut down now. So even if they take taxi from their yard, then go to the designated area where the bus are going to pick them up and then pay the $50 on the bus, which cut costs the parents' pocket. Hooray! Every parent is glad for that. Every parent should not be going for that. I'm glad for that. Secondly, me are going to get to sit down in their seat comfortable and not hostile. Thirdly, the bus them now drive as as fast as taxi them because the bus them have a speed limit on them how we drive.
Yeah, the buses are covered when they come to them speed.
All right. So that's a one scenario. Over here, so now, on the left hand side, come with a scenario. The scenario where the elephant come with now kind of puzzle me. Me not throw me want throw cold water upon it, but me still I try to look for one better explanation because it can't make sense to me. How are you as an opposition realize that the reason for the rural bus system is to take students out of public transportation where it is so hostile and so costly to put them in a safer era, and you are willing to go back to give the same taxi man them money to carry the same set of picnic them. So tell me now, Chuck, probably you can explain it to me. When the taxi man them all carry the picnic them for $2,500, what they say them all give them. Then who are gonna monitor so they not chuck them up in a car? Who are gonna monitor say they not speed with them? Who are gonna monitor say they the taxi man them now see adults them asking see fear over there so they not go with this money? Who will monitor that? How does that work comparing to this that we have over here? PMP people up in the eye. Me know say I want to love on a party, but this is total foolishness. A foolishness.
That is very well said, Craig. And I agree with you, Craig. You see, they're not putting in a system in place. What they're doing is just trying to, my system, my solution, I have to give it something.
That is it.
You'll give it something. Right, so and you mentioned the push and pull of them have to go through, the lateness. But one of the most important things that is being done with this bus system is to get the children out of the predatory environment.
That is one of the things that was mentioned last night. That is one of the things.
The predatory environment where they mean your machine was here as an officer that worked for Sesoka, and she said the amount of them were young girl 13, 14, 15 will get pregnant, and when you ask them who are the taxi man when name Blacker, the one when name Biggs.
But Chuck,
that's what
last year.
Yes.
Chuck, last year one video come out with school bikini and them a gyrate and a wind up in a bus. How can you have you send your picnic at school and before you reach a school, their mental capacity is so messed up with all type of music and all type of things they're playing at the bus them. How them fi function and learn at school? That is why our education system, the education system are faulty. And you're blaming government when at the end of the day, the whole nature of building up to reaching school, all the people them focus when they come to school, when they have boogie yaga in their ears.
All right, I'm Craig H. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, winner.
Craig, internet beat your bad papa.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we're going. Go ahead, Barry.
Hold on, Barry.
No, Barry, hold on.
No, hold on. Barry, me say, hold on, man, Barry. Go ahead, Barry. I soon come to you. If it's safe, seriously, me and you arguing in Jamaica. I mean, me and I go argue over something. So wait. Go on, Barry.
All right, so I was listening to Craig H and Excellence on the live last night. And I want to point out to everybody that in the great United States of America, where I work in the school system, they are not able to provide door-to-door bus transportation for children who go to school. And they have more buses than you can ever imagine, right? They have far more buses than drive, and every school has a bus park at the school compound, right? And they cannot possibly provide door-to-door transportation for all these kids. And last night, I hear the gentleman talking about that the buses won't go across border.
You hear him, right? Good.
Now, I was at pains to point out to him that in any bus organization, there must be a zoning system. There must be points of pickup, because you are talking about efficiency, you are talking about time in reaching school on time, picking up the kids on time, and probably one bus serve 2 or 3 schools. And so you have to schedule the timing in order to be able to pick up the kids at different times. And I want to say to everybody that when just give you an example, when the buses come, you are zoned in a particular route. And when you know where your bus is going to travel. And you have to meet the bus at a particular point where the bus is going to stop. If it so happens that you live on the route where the bus is traveling, the bus will stop at your gate. Right? But if you don't live on the route where the bus is traveling, there's a particular point close to where you live where the bus will congregate and will pick up those students who actually live within close proximity to that point. And so you will not be crossing border. Now, as it relates to, he's talking about somebody who lives in St. James or in St. Thomas and go to school in Portland. Now, it's a choice for the parent to decide where you want to send your children. And you have to look at an economic feasibility on your part as a parent to see how best you can send your child to the best possible school closest to you. And so if you live in St. Westmoreland, I don't think you want to send your child to school in Montego Bay, because that is going to be a lot of cost for you as a parent. It's going to be a lot of traveling time for your child, and the child will have to wake up, and there's no bus system in the world that will be able to cater for a situation like that. And so all I'm saying to all those naysayers, you cannot be all things to all men. You can provide a system, and you must see how the system is working and take advantage of it. And the government will not and cannot provide door-to-door transportation for students, even if they were to find oil in Jamaica. And that much I want to say to everybody. So don't let anybody fool you. This is the best development in Jamaica's history in recent times, to cater to the needs of our children who are at the hands of these predatory taximen and busmen, who I have seen as a school principal, gotten some of our children pregnant on a number of occasions. And I've heard of stories where children at the elementary school level have been funded by taximen, right? Sitting in people's lap. I hear stories of kids talking about them sitting in man's lap, and when they got up, the man had such erection, and when they got up, their skirt was wet, right? So this is what we're preventing against. And guess what? I will say to Mr. Vaz, I've heard people talk about it in the past, but you are the minister who has the courage, who take the time to pilot it in your constituency with your own resources, and you are now piloting it across Jamaica, and it has room and scope for growth, and I want all Jamaicans to support it. Thank you, Chuck.
Well said, Barry. Very, very well said. Classic.
Yeah, man, I'm there. Greetings, everyone. So, Uncle Chuck, in the other day, I have a conversation with a virgin. Him own 3 buses in Clarendon here. And him go Lennon High School with one, Garvey Massey with one, and Bustamante High with one. Now, these 3 buses takes art students on them, implemented by this administration. And these children pay $0 and 0 cent on this bus. All right? Now, what he was saying, because when he might tell me I'm angry, you know, in that him say the conversation is not done with them. There's no meeting. So him feel like them all get pushed out. Now tell him say no man, and not get pushed out. It's just that I need to have the meeting. Because sometimes the government have so many things afire. Where they even remember you. They no member say them have this program happening right now. But anyhow, I got confirmation this morning on Sunny Live where a security guard at a particular school, his son goes to one of those schools. And when we work out the fare, the little man would end up pay 100, 150, that's $500 per day if he wasn't taking this particular bus. So right now he's saving $200 each day. I mean, 150 he must save $300 each day because of the bus system right now that he's taking. And I am assuming Mark Golding will be looking for the most vulnerable. And those 20,000 students may be those on path. Just assuming, because I'm not depend for them side. Me never in a room when them have that conversation there.
All right.
But me look on the fact that
Let me just give you some information. You see that arrangement with the park bus system that the schools have in place? That arrangement will not be affected by this new bus system. That
okay,
arrangement
great.
No, not all.
Good. Yeah, we're not continue.
Yeah, I have a video to play for TVJ. It was a headline in 2022. Just a reminder why.
That's the winner. Thank you. The winner, you know, let me search for it.
Oh, okay. All right, cool, no problem.
When classic finish, you play it. You know, let me search for it. All right, finish classic.
Yeah, man. So Mark Golding said, boy, them a put aside $1 billion or $2 billion for this new system what them a put in place. But them a give $2,500 per student, which is 20,000 students. And if you work out the maths, brother, oh God, man, a $21 billion, you know, when you work out the maths, you know, for the year you're going to spend on that, you know, and him just reserve $2 billion for a $21 billion program. Now, come on, people. We're not going to believe in this man at PNP. We know no can't do maths, but I know everything when you hear some figure, $2 billion, yeah, because it's so enough. But the reality is $21 billion. Gone are the days when Pitney, if you cut out them pocket and I sit down in a lap, man I go to work and him want to go to work comfortably. You hear doctor say, yo, put that girl there in your lap. Can you imagine that? Come on, man. Them days are days that done under this administration, people.
Just a quick correction. It is not 20,000 students. It is 20,000 families. So imagine a family having 2 or 3 children going to school.
That's even worse.
Okay.
Now, I'm just looking at the fact also that if Miss Mary have 6 Pitney, 2,500 times is 6. And for the month, that's what, $60,000? Miss Mary will already want that the $60,000 there. What's the guarantee of Miss Mary sending them 6 Pitney there at school for the entire month? What's the guarantee when a taxi knows a little rainfall, it will increase in taxi fare? Classic.
Back to the point that I was saying to you, that the biggest flaw, and for the 200 people in the party, the biggest flaw is that the 20,000 families may assume say are the part family, right? Bear in mind, you cater for, say, may assume say the part family you have a cater for. The people that were there on part. Now, when the government bus a drive road, they pick up everybody. Part or no part, right? But you have to cater for 20,000 family, those who you know, how you go come, how him go come to that conclusion.
Yeah,
See?
yeah, but is it all right? Craig,
Yes.
give me a sec. Yeah, we understand that the persons and part need extra assistant.
Yeah.
But there are actually other families, they are not on part, you know, but they have difficulties too. So are you saying that if you know depend part, the government no business with you?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Give me a second.
No, well, let me explain what I said.
I just want to say this, Chuck.
Well, on the berry. Well, let me explain.
No, I just want to give you some point, yeah?
Well, let me explain so you don't get me wrong. I am saying
just one line winner.
Well, I am saying
already have arrangement in their part allowance for transportation.
No,
So-
I know that, you know, what I was getting at. What I was getting at is based on the fact they are saying 20,000 families, right? 20,000 families. I am saying, how is that going to work out? Because I am still waiting on the working aspect of the stipulation, because I know the government system will pick up all students, part or no part. Part or no part. So
Jamaica, I am going to make Winner play this video and then we come to you right after. Winner, play that video there, because a long time I search it to play it.
This evening, how the public transport crisis is affecting school attendance.
So how bad is it? Anthony Lugg joins us now live in studio.
Thanks, Janella Herman. Well, it's really bad. The students I spoke with say waiting on a bus during peak hours is one thing, but getting into the bus and then being stuck in traffic hours is another.
September 19, 1995. 6-year-old Jeremy Small was killed after he was run over by a bus shortly after he left home for school. The Jamaica Star reported that the infant and his sister were in a crowded bus stop waiting on a bus. He was trampled on in the mad rush to enter the vehicle.
And when the bus have come, the whole of a crowd and run to go get the bus. And just because the whole of them are both to go in the bus, them push the little picnic sons at the bus. And the bus lick the boy in the head and he drop in front of the bus and the bus run over him.
Fast forward to September 2022. Very little has changed. Boarding a public bus or taxi in peak hours requires great skill. We observed how it played out at multiple locations. It's like a battle of the fittest and the fastest. The ultimate prize, getting a seat in the vehicle. And if you don't, you may have to go through this several times or simply wait it out until the crowd dwindles. A frustrating process for students.
The people would have pushed out of the way, especially the adults.
Why would the people have pushed them just for going in the bus? Like, what's the point of pushing?
So many of the undesirable behaviors that we see come from some of the things that we force the children to have to undergo and what we force them to do. And so if you have to be fighting simply for a space, then even violence is further underlined as a way of life.
When JUTC buses are unavailable, students turn to taxis and route buses. But even then, another problem.
Then when they actually go in there, they talk about lockup.
A high school Dean or Bromfield.
It lends itself to students being manipulated and taken advantage of, particularly the younger ones and maybe particularly the females. It also sends the wrong signals, I think, in terms of what we say, what we as a society say, the standards that we want to uphold. And certainly from a safety and security standpoint, I find that quite undesirable.
Making it on the bus is one thing, but students have to endure overcrowded vehicles, plus they are forced to pay adult fares.
So we understand why we have to pay $100 and the people have to pay. When we are at like 3 miles, if we do not pay 100, we pay 150. I don't know what's the reason. Them not really like me. They don't really like. They must say no schoolers.
The issue of overcharging spans decades. Successive administrators have condemned the practice and talked tough about sanctions. But again, little has changed. In fact, during the period of our investigation, officials from the Transport Authority were noticeably absent during the peak hours. The students' plight is further compounded by traffic in the corporate area.
School begins at 7:30, but classes actually begin at 8. And what we've found is that up to 30% on some mornings of our students are coming in after 7:30, and perhaps slightly less than 10% coming in after 8 o'clock.
Now, Herman and Janella, I just want to point out that students are not the only ones being impacted by this. We're quite aware that adult commuters have issues getting to work on time. And then there's also the issue of productivity. Additionally, the problems are similar in some rural areas. Tomorrow, though, I'll be looking at those solutions.
Now, Chuck, you can imagine if we should remove our kids from the rural transportation system in terms of local taxi, give them their own modes of transportation, how would increase productivity in rural areas because our adult population will be able to get to work on time because they're no longer competing with our kids.
That is so true. And that is the value of this project.
I need to get this video to make it run on TikTok. Yeah. So
yeah. Jamaica for Jamaicans now. Let me hear you now, sir.
Yeah,
by the way, first thing, let me say something to you first. Yesterday, when you were here, you made a statement that you were one of them who used to check the JCF website continuously right up until 2015 when the Jamaica Labour Party changed it. Now, a member of the force came here and told us that in 2015, 2012, 2013, thank you, not, me never want to identify you, no Knox. The JCF website had no such information. The website basically was non-existent then. So what website were you checking for the information that you said you used to check? You say you used to check it every week. Right up until the Labour Party changed it. Where you used to check the JCF website never have that information at that time. The website was non-existent then. So I give you a chance to either apologize for misleading or what.
Chuck, you derailed me from when I really come for talk about not Chuck.
No, you made that statement yesterday. May I give you a chance just to clear up that part of it before you continue.
Alright, maybe I misspoke and it was 2020. Let me continue with what I say. I'm just gonna speak to the labor rights now. And all the labor rights we own Airbnb. Do you know?
Sir, we're talking.
No, hold on. Airbnb is not the topic. Yeah, me not if I Airbnb you want. Hold on, let me check. Hold on. Yes. Come back the 27th of September for the Airbnb discussion. 27th of September.
Yeah. You come back and try to change this topic, but you're not easy.
27th of September is when we have the Airbnb conversation set up.
Go to Jamaica.
You see the point when I proved from last night, Barry, that PMP, the people of the PMP, them cannot defend the rural bus system where the PMP them come up with, you know. They cannot defend it because this is a foolishness.
Jamaica belong to, if you want to come and talk about the bus, more you can tell me about your party bus system solution. I don't own an Airbnb. Me not talk nothing about Airbnb. If you want to come tell me about the bus system. And you really to talk about the bus system, you can come back.
But
you missed next one that a year when said, oh, he misspoke. Maybe it was 2020. Wasn't he here confidently yesterday saying he used to check it every day right up until 2015? And all of a sudden now, oh, you misspoke, it was 2020. Boy, young boy, when you catch them. When you catch them.
Chuck, good day. Chuck, you see that thing? The gleaner sent out false information, and I think Edmund Bartlett needs to address it. The Labour Party needs to address it because that's the next thing that the PMP is running with, and it is misinformation. But I think the Labour Party should address it.
Edmund already addressed it. Edmund already addressed it.
But it needs to be amplified. It needs to be amplified and see.
Don't worry.
Propaganda.
He did address it. So the man, the lie and terrible.
But guys, today we are dealing with the bus system. Tell them to go over Triple X. Go talk to Triple X about Airbnb. Triple X have supposed to own a whole heap of successful Airbnb under the Jamaica Labour Party government.
And nobody now trouble Airbnb. Nobody now trouble Airbnb. No go away. I vote now.
Nobody now trouble. Right, where we are solved right now, winner for clarity.
Yeah.
Why you play back that tape for me one more time? Let the people them hear it.
Oh, hold on. Let's see if I find it, bro.
Run it from the top again for me, winner. Please. Make people them hear what we children them a go through on a daily basis. Make the people them hear what Mark Golding is willing to subject our kids to.
Hey Chuck, yes, the little one with the 30 is going into that AD
Transport
wagon.
crisis is affecting school attendance.
So how bad is it? Anthony Lugg joins us now live in studio.
Thanks, Janella Herman. Well, it's really bad. The students I spoke with say waiting on a bus during peak hours is one thing, but getting into the bus and then being stuck in traffic for hours is another.
September 19, 1995, 6-year-old Jeremy Small was killed after he was run over by a bus shortly after he left home for school. The Jamaica Star reported that the infant and his sister were in a crowded bus stop waiting on a bus. He was trampled on in the mad rush to enter the vehicle.
And when the bus have come, the whole is a crowd. I run to go get the bus. And just because the whole of them are both to go at the bus, them push the little picnic in front of the bus. And the bus lift the boy in the head and he drop in front of the bus and the bus run over him.
Fast forward to September 2022. Very little has changed. Boarding a public bus or taxi in peak hours requires great skill. We observed how it played out at multiple locations. It's like a battle of the fittest and the fastest. The ultimate prize, getting a seat in the vehicle. And if you don't, you may have to go through this several times or simply wait it out until the crowd dwindles, a frustrating process for students.
The people would have pushed out of the way, especially the adults.
Well, what do the people push them just to go in? What's the point of pushing?
So many of the undesirable behaviors that we see come from some of the things that we force the children to have to undergo and what we force them to do. And so if you have to be fighting simply for a space, then even violence is further underlined as a way of life.
When JLP buses are unavailable, students turn to taxis and youth buses. But even then, another problem.
Then when I actually go in there, they might talk about laptop.
Schools are particularly concerned. We spoke with the principal of the Excelsior High School, Dean Bromfield.
It lends itself to students being manipulated and taken advantage of, particularly the younger ones and maybe particularly the females. It also sends the wrong signals, I think, in terms of what we say, what we as a society say, the standards that we want to uphold. And certainly from a safety and security standpoint, I find that quite undesirable.
Making it on the bus is one thing, but students have to endure overcrowded vehicles, plus they are forced to pay adult fares.
So we understand why we have to pay $100 and people have to pay. When we are at like 3 miles, if we don't have to pay 100, we pay 150. I don't know what's the reason. They don't really like me. They don't really like, they want to say, no schoolers.
The issue of overcharging spans decades. Successive administrators have condemned. Little has changed. In fact, during the period of our investigation, officials from the Transport Authority were noticeably absent during the peak hours. The students' plight is further compounded by traffic in the corporate area.
School begins at 7:30, but classes actually begin at 8. And what we've found is that up to 30% on some mornings of our students are coming in after 7:30, and perhaps slightly less than 10% coming in after 8 o'clock.
Trauma.
So Herman and Janella, I just want to point out.
Yep, search up. That is what we're experiencing.
That is what the experience was.
And my government is putting in a program to fix the problem. PMP is saying, no, we are going to create or we're going to increase the problem by giving taxi men extra money to do this. They blood up fire.
You see,
when we speak now,
you see, Chuck, as bad as the sexual molestation is, when there are two issues I have
Taxi man never yet want strike until first day of school or first day of CXC. Anytime there's something that the kids have the most urgency to get to school, taxi man a strike. But when you are in a place like the pickpocket capital of the world, aka Mandeville, whereas the bus come and the rush, when you eventually get into a bus, 9 out of 10 of those passengers don't have their purse, their phone, their money. Everything of value is taken from them in that rush. And I am talking about things that I see every day happening to everyday people.
Hey, Chuck. Long time, brother.
Yes, nigga, long time I'm not saying at the place.
Not much, man. I just been busy working. I want to tell you this. A government-run bus system, to me, is not feasible. If you look at any form of transportation system, what is the biggest need to operate a transportation system? It's the maintenance of the buses. Now, what we have as a problem in Jamaica is a maintenance system. We don't maintain the roads, we don't maintain anything. Let me explain to you. If you operate a fleet of transportation trucks, the biggest thing that you have to have is a maintenance system. If you put a government-run system in place, the government cannot maintain the buses. So it will only last for a couple of years while the buses are new. So what I think we should have, though, is that we should put this out for bidding through the private sector and have the private sector operate these buses.
Let me ask this, nigga. Let me ask this. The bus system in New York, who runs it?
Which one of the bus system are you talking about?
The public transport system in New York, who runs it?
You have the city who runs it, but the infrastructure is there. Jamaica don't have the infrastructure.
The school bus system in New York, who runs it?
I just answered.
The government. All right.
Yes,
So
you hear what I said?
Hold on. I understand what you're saying about the roads.
No.
Our roads in Jamaica are being improved.
No, man, I'm not talking about roads. You're not listening.
He's talking about maintenance of the vehicles.
The maintenance of the vehicle, the infrastructure from maintenance. I'm not sure if you have any idea about maintaining these heavy equipment. What we're talking about, the type of maintenance that these buses require, and you're going to have a certain level of expectation on the rules and regulation to operate a public bus for children. We put in the horses before the carriage before the horse. You cannot put a bus system in place without having the infrastructure of maintenance.
Well, let me answer that for you, sir.
Yeah. Hold on, guys. Let me answer. Hold on, guys. Let me answer Nigel first. Let me answer Nigel. Nigel, who maintain the JUTC buses?
Okay, you're well, me not about that, no.
But who maintain it? But listen to me. Yeah. You're using the Kingston.
No. I'm asking a question first. Who maintains the JUTC buses?
I know they have a center in Kingston that I think it's privately run, but privately
no, the JUTC employs mechanics.
Hold on, Chuck. Good evening,
hold on, let me finish, protected. Hold on, let me finish. Yeah, the JUTC employs mechanic. The JUTC sends these mechanics overseas to be trained to monitor these buses. Not only that, Knoxford Express have 2 companies in Jamaica that is contracted to maintain their buses, which is the same big buses. So there are maintenance infrastructure in place. We're not putting no carrot before the horse. The maintenance structure is there.
And the
It's
minister
not,
did state that these
Sure.
buses will be maintained under the JUTC.
Yeah. Good evening, gentle people. Good evening, family.
What is it protecting?
Pardon me for having been missing from a space for about 2 weeks. But you know what surprises me the most? And I'm responding from the angle that gentleman just posited his concern. For the first time ever in Jamaica's history, we have a wide range of things happening that are historic. But I don't know why it is so important to some people to find a negative, dig up and find a negative to highlight. Everything is a work in progress. Everything. It takes trial and error sometimes to arrive at the best solution to a problem. Who remember back in the 1990s, or the early 90s, when cell phone was introduced to Jamaica, a big old ugly thing on your side, or draw on your side with the pole. Where if you not draw the pole, you can't talk. What do we have today? And this is the concern I have. I have a concern when the leader of the opposition party, the main opposition party in Jamaica, go up on stage everywhere and go and across the school bus system. Yet still him send him pick them go England, go school, and the whole of them take school bus.
I am not.
I'm protected. Let me say, what are Negro advice? We have had several conversations with Negro advice, but I think Negro advice was asking more on a business point of view rather than to criticize.
The minister outlined everything even before the first bus where him and his wife buy out of them pocket. Come to Jamaica. Them outlined everything. JUTC already have the infrastructure in place to service these units.
But can I ask a question too?
But the JTUTC
there was tour bus in Jamaica.
In
We go look
Westmoreland.
bus did there in Jamaica even before Mike Henry decided to buy these
But sir,
buses.
hold on.
Hold on. Good question, Negro advice. You say if the JUTC is down there. No. And the minister also speak to that. Hold on, Craig. The minister also speak to that, Negro advice. The minister said that they will have at least 10 buses in reserve. So when we take one bus out of the system, we put one. So one bus due to go service next week. We're going to send them one bus and we want to come service it. So as Protecting said, it is new. So we're going to work out some kinks as we go along before the system become working.
Let me add to Hold on, let Protect him. Let me add
When in the
something.
truck before and coming back.
Hold on, let me add something to what
One
Protect.
more thing. Hold on, my brother. One more thing. Guys, listen to me. I broke down too. So
Yes.
what? So what is the blinking problem? We have to pass some of the bus them on the roadside with the bonnet up, man, them overeat all sort of sitting. So what?
Just like every other vehicle.
So what?
But hold on, no. Let me answer what. Let me just respond to add to what Chuck said. All right. So you talk about some of the bus them were there in a nickel and all of that. Bear in mind that this was one of the statements that the minister made, that they will have contractors to help to facilitate the servicing of these buses. Bear in mind, JCF has a depot, as a place in Kingston that they service all their vehicles, but yet still all of the vehicles them in the island can't go up at the headquarters, you know. They outsource some of the servicing. They outsource some of the servicing to private personnel that can service some of these. So as Protecting JA say, make we see the thing in a operational and things will fall in line as it goes.
But let me ask this question. It shows the level of confidence that some people have in this government. Are you telling me that the government would put buses in place for children and they don't have the necessary infrastructure, like the fixing of the bus?
I don't believe so, ma'am.
They don't have it.
No, but if you are,
as I said before, I think Negril was speaking to it, and from a Negril Vibes is a businessman, you know.
But that's
Negril
what I'm
Vibes
saying.
was looking at it as a business point of view.
But as a business person, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Are you telling me?
But what Negril, I don't think what Negril understand is that a government-run bus system is not there to make a profit.
But
no bus system in the world, anything to do with the public transportation, and the government is involved. It's not a for profit. It's always subsidized. It's always subsidized.
All right, let me give you this.
Negril, I understand your concern, but most of them are being attended to as we speak.
And
we are going to focus on new one as we go in and we fix it as it come along.
Yeah.
But let me just say, let me just say what we should be thinking about immediately, not what Peter Bunton is putting in our head, because all of this is coming from what Peter Bunton said, and all of a sudden, Peter Bunton is Moses. But Peter Bunton didn't even know if he asked from him bottom. Right?
No, Master. No. What Negril Vibes
No. What I'm saying, I understand.
About maintenance.
Correct. No, but what I'm saying, the mere fact Peter Bunton came out and says that the old bus and then go and crash and look at how morbid the man is. Then go and crash and kill off people. You know, granny and the old people them. That is so morbid. You kill off your people them.
I'm not doing this type of thing, you know.
No, sir. No. Hold on a second. Just let me make the point.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
You might not realize that's not what you're thinking, but what you said is perpetrated because of what was said before. You might not realize that. But my point in all of this, and I'm very passionate about this, my point as protecting JA said, Mark Golden, either Grand Pitney them is either them in a Jamaica go school, if them go school, they're chauffeur driven. If them go England, I don't know the arrangement with that. Right? But what I'm saying, remember, the taxi drivers them and the bus drivers them, the private drivers them, remember they used to tell the little girl them, so if you come as on Thursday and no brassiere day, and Friday and no panty day. During the week, on cut out on the pocket. And sit beside us. Those are what the kids them used to go through. The young girls, the little boy, they want to see some of them are misbehaved so badly. It's because of what happened on those buses. Remember, the bus were tinted so dark. That's why the government come in and said, no, cut it out because we can't see what is happening. And that's what we should be focusing on. That is what we should be focusing on. Instead of Mark Golden putting our head, we see our old boss and Peter Bunton now come out with this callousness to say they're going to crash and kill off the people.
All right.
That's what we should be talking about.
Marcia, your point.
I think majority of us is misunderstanding. Hold on the bar, wait a second. I think majority of us is misunderstanding what Negril Vibes was saying. Negril Vibes' question was simple about the maintenance setup.
Yeah.
It's not about the bus being old or new bus.
Guys, hold on. Housekeeping, please. Please allow the host, guys. You're not going to be host, you know? The host, he's sure.
I know. Just everybody so passionate about it. I am so passionate about this topic.
Allow him to direct the conversation in the direction that he wanted to go. Please allow. Once he says stop, just stop. Once he allow somebody to speak, allow this person to speak, to give him control over it. Because he was having a good monologue and me come up and then him add people. Just allow him to make the conversation so it can flow and we maintain the positivity. Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
But Negril Vibes, come back. As I said, I believe people are misunderstanding your question that I don't think you are being negative. You're just asking a question about something which we can easily answer.
Thank you for saying that, Chuck, because you see, negativity, it's not a part of who I am. What I am saying, I don't want to go out and push out a system and operate from a trial and error point of view. I am questioning what is our infrastructure like to maintain a massive bus system. If we look at Westmoreland, Hanover, and St. Elizabeth. There's not much in this part of Western Jamaica in terms of a mechanical infrastructure. We can't wait for a bus to come from Kingston in that morning that a bus is damaged, right? So I am saying, let's also have an honest conversation around the finances of maintaining a busing system. Because if you look across the world, very few places across the world operate school buses are operated by the government. Right? The government put out the guidelines for how school buses should be operated. So what I'm asking,
what Negril? All right.
Yeah. So can I respond?
Let me answer that one for you now. So yes, there is no presently the infrastructure may not be say. We could use Negril as an example.
Yeah, man.
Right, but I want people now to understand that business personnel in Negril. This is an opportunity for you now to say, all right, the bus I go come. Let me upgrade my little mechanic shop and me approach the government and say, listen to me, me can do the regular maintenance of these buses,
But
it's also an opportunity for business person to step up and fill a gap that is obviously being created, as I say. It's business opportunity for a mechanic in Hanover.
I want to respond. I wait until you give me the chance to respond.
Go ahead, Craig.
Chuck. I gave the perfect solution a while ago. No, Mr. Negril, you made a valid point, and it's a good point. We're not throwing no cold water upon it, because once you have vehicle coming, maintenance is a must. No, we are saying that unlike JUTC that works every day, these bus systems only work from Monday to Friday, right? It cannot work no other day outside of school time, right? So there's a hold on. It cannot work any other day outside of the regular school time unless probably a school event and government grantee or the Ministry of Education grantee. But they are designated.
Very good point, Craig. Very good point.
They work from Monday to Friday. So there's the window of Saturday, Sunday where they can do for maintenance. And also I said to you, JCF would have outsourced maintenance to in-parish mechanic because they cannot accommodate all their maintenance at their head office depot. No, simple what I am saying is that if there, as Chuck would have said, if there is a well-established mechanic or mechanic business in a certain parish that the government use to service any other vehicle and it can use for these, I am sure that they will gravitate to these places, and I'm also sure that the government will look towards Harchus as an avenue for maintenance.
And that's a brilliant point, Craig.
Yes. All right, so like we go down the line. We could just continue go down the line.
All right, so hold on back. Maybe you want to like
yes. So as much as we passion, just excuse we passion. I believe you might ask very valid question, because personally I don't believe that the bus system are gonna launch and operate at its most efficient level, right? Because it's very brand new. So we're gonna trial and a lot of error I got there in it because it's very brand new. How it can operate in the rural area can operate different from how it can operate in the city versus, you understand? So the questions we might lay out are some very good questions we can ask yourself and just come up with the right answer, right? So Darrell them did run an experiment in their parish in Portland with about 7 buses, I believe, when it did just launch, and so him get a lot of data of what them might in that period of time get a lot of data on what the risk reward, and also how this government operate is that with They just don't do something willy-nilly. There is a lot of planning and touchdown. So we can't really project the PMP mindset on the Jamaica Labour Party. Because what they're gonna do is that like what we have for the NSWMA, what we have for the police, what we have for the fire station is that we have independent maintenance people. Like you will say the NSWMA people them active, the cleaning crew, the truck cleaning crew versus the mechanic crew if you follow them website. And if you follow the police, the JCF, you will see the police them too. Like so I believe that they're gonna have the bus mechanic maintenance crew. There's a lot of time where they're gonna put in and the whole heap of thing we're gonna discover and whole heap of initiative and legislation are gonna happen to make it operate efficiency. It's in at the bird stage, so we just have to go, you know.
All right, Chuck. Can I come in now?
Go on back. Yeah, man, go ahead, man.
There's one thing I want to point out to everybody, that there is no perfect system in the world. And we must understand that. Because if you have a perfect system, it means that there will be no hiccups. The mighty United States, there are mornings when you get up and you pick up your phone and you understand that bus route 2025 will be 30 minutes late, will be 1 hour later, bus route 2026 will be cancelled. Can you make some arrangement for your school to be taken, for your child to be taken to school? Or wait on an hour delay or 2 hour delay, right? So the logistics in terms of how these things will be done will be dependent on the experience and the expertise of the Director of Transportation, who will actually deal with the logistics. And that's a very big position which requires specialized skill to deal with. In the United States, the Director of Transportation is a very, very well experienced person, hard to come by, right? Now, the other thing I want to say is that bus systems...
Oh, sorry, Barry. Chuck, may I get Omalo in my box? Put up Omalo.
All right, cool.
Bus systems in the world are not... Public bus systems in the world are not meant to make a profit. The purpose of public transportation that is run by the state is to create efficiency and enhance productivity within the state, right? So when the government decides to make sure that you have a proper public system, transportation or train transportation, what it does, it enhances productivity and efficiency within government. And thirdly, government's sole purpose is not to make a profit, but to provide the best quality service to people at a cost to the people. So guess what? When you pay your taxes, when you work, pay your taxes, the government should not only just fill up their coffers and have the money to down. They should make the money work for you. So the more money the government has, the better service that the government should provide for you. So if you hear that JUTC lost $20 billion, as long as it is providing its service and ensuring that it is providing efficiency and enhancing productivity, it is money well spent. And no public transportation system in the world turns a profit. I end here, sir.
Can I speak?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Hold on, Frank, hold on. Let me give Foresight a chance. Foresight has been here. Let me give Foresight and then Foresight, Frank, and then we come to the master.
Yeah, good evening. Look up everybody on the live.
Hold on, Foresight.
Yeah, so no system, right? Especially when it is newly introduced, has to be perfect to be useful. And we hardly going to get a perfect system at the stage when it is just introduced, right? Now, one of the things we need to understand is that the PNP is trying to focus on cost. Somebody needs to mute. Negril Bad.
Hold on, Negril, sorry, hold on. Go ahead.
Now let us not ignore that. Let us not ignore the fact that cost is not the only benefit for this bus system, right? Let us not overlook the benefit of safety for our kids, right? So when the PNP try to tell us about the cost and how costly it is going to be and if it's going to be cost efficient, then we need to understand that that's not the only thing that the government, right, is trying to achieve, right? And any system, because Mark Golding's proposal giving the money to the private operators, right? There's one question I want to ask about that. Already we have a problem, right, that we are trying to solve by introducing this bus system. Part of that problem is that a lot of times these private operators are saying, no schoolers. Schoolers? Yes. In giving these private operators the money now, how is he going to ensure that after giving them the money, they are going to be carrying these kids to school? How is that going to solve the problem of these private operators, right? Not saying no schoolers and actually carrying these kids to school. How is it going to solve that problem? Because you're going to have people to monitor them to ensure that they carry these kids to school. How would they monitor that? That's a question that I would want him to answer, right? The bus system, we're not going to have all the answers now, right? It is a very good system, right? The mere fact that it won't expose kids to the dangers of private operators, right? The mere fact that you can have a camera system where parents can actually see what is going on in these buses, right? The mere fact that it can run on time, the mere fact that the government is now improving our roads so that they will have good roads to drive on. And that is why I'm saying one of the things that we must admire Andrew on this for, is the sequence, right? The sequence in terms of what it does to prepare the country, right, for what is coming, right? Now, this bus system is coming at a time when we are having, right, a massive improvement, right, in our road networks, right? The reduction in crime and telling youths to get themselves productive is coming at a time when unemployment, right, is down and over 253,000 new jobs is being created, right? So we have to understand that you have to have vision, and we have a leader with vision. So when anybody talk about bus system and roads and want to tell us that it won't work, have to look at the thing from a holistic perspective. You can't just look on a thing in a vacuum and say, oh, it's not going to work. You have to look on all that is happening to ensure that the system works. It's not we have a visionary leader, and we have to respect the decision of the visionary leader. And I land here.
Very well said, Foresight. And hold on, Darren, before, Darren, give me a second. We soon come to it. But let me say this now. You see, persons like Negro vibes is the kind of discussion we have to encourage when we implement something. There is no system we are going to implement that is perfect. So if Negro vibes say, me have a question about the maintenance, that is a valid question. The problem that we have is that when the PMP come and they tell us, oh, they must all are, oh, this or oh, that, then they are waste of time discussion. Exactly. So when we say, we know the system now go perfect, right? So Nigel Vibe come and say, me have a question about how the bus go maintain. That is a good discussion that we can have. We can't shy away from that. These are discussions that we have where we can so we can work out a kink, and we can probably mention some solution where the government may not have thought of or improve on something where they do that thing.
And if it's going to cost a little bit more, for me to, and if it's going to cost the government a little more to improve the safety of our kids.
We have Mr. Pong and then we are confused.
Yeah, man, just say this, if it's going to cost a little bit more to improve the safety of our kids going to school, I'm prepared to pay that. And I think the
I'm prepared to pay that.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Miss Pong. Pong.
Blessings. Yeah, man. As a stalwart of the JUTC, I work with the JUTC for 23 years. Right? At that point in time, we had some buses. We had some white buses that used to service Mandeville. Yes, and we had some buses. We had buses, the white buses in Kingston. Then after that, we had buses. We had the bus depot in Montego Bay. What I think is going to happen with the servicing of these buses, these school buses, that is going to be operated between Monday and Friday. The western end of the buses that operate in the western end I think they are going to be serviced over the weekend at the Montego Bay Metro company, or they will dispatch mechanics from that depot to go and service bus. Because remember now, a service in the bus is just service a going service bus, and a set up broke down that you're going to preventative maintenance to keep it going. And then now the Kingston end, we could dispatch some mechanics from Kingston, because we have enough. We have 4 depots in around Kingston and St. Catherine. We could dispatch some mechanics from those depots to go on weekends to service those other rural area buses. Because as I said before, I was a part of the maintenance road team. Yes, where we go around and you used to go to Mandeville and usually do little service there on those white buses. They usually call them the dog bus them. Yeah, those buses used to run. They usually have a set in Mandeville where usually carry people. Yeah. And then now, as I say, Montego Bay Metro would, I think they would implement a system that use some of those mechanics to go to like Negril, or maybe the bus would go to Montego Bay, as it's not far, to get service and go back to their respective location to start doing their routine pickups by Monday morning.
And
that's what I think would have happened.
That is true, Mr. Pan. Well said. And the government can also set up central place in these places, like you have a depot in Mandeville that is responsible for the central part of the island.
Yes.
We already have Montego we can service that end, and we have Kingston we can service this.
I think that is what is going to happen.
The infrastructure is already there. We just need to fine tune. And as I said earlier, it creates a business opportunity for other mechanics who have the trade to now fully establish their business. Go in, register your business, clean up your place, expand your place, and approach the government and say, yeah, well, you know, me can manage the service bus and these things. So it creates opportunities, as we say.
And these buses, one more point. These buses, remember now, we have a whole heap of mechanics we're gone to Canada and America. And them are work on the bus, them are Canada and America. So it's not rocket science for mechanic work. Mechanics is principle of mechanic work. So the rocket science. So we can
enter some of them to come back home, bam.
Yep. Well, that might just happen.
All right.
Yeah.
All
right.
Look,
yes,
as a conductor in Jamaica and a bus operator and a bus operator in America, let me tell you the best look out for these buses. The government have to build if the mechanic them cannot do it, they have to build like a depot in Negril, one in Montego Bay already, one in Mandeville, and one in St. Elizabeth or Westmoreland. Right, to service Chilani. Montego Bay in service Chilani because they're gonna call the dispatch. When the bus break down or anything, they're gonna call dispatch on the road because they must say bus is man-made. Right? Or anything can happen. They can puncture and they can break down. So when they break down or they puncture, they call dispatch call the mechanic, and then they send out a van with 2 or 3 mechanic with tires and parts for these buses. That's how I see it happening here. So the best.
Yeah, man. As we say, no, Chef Wayne, the system is new, so we are going to run it, and then we are going first. Tell you what, this is the first time one bus broke down. We are going to measure why, you know, say it takes the mechanic too long to get to it. So here we are going to, we need the mechanic somewhere else. These are the workout kinks.
True.
You know, the bus punch and they take the mechanic 4 hours for reach, and no, so that can't go on again. So here what we do now, we need some mechanic somewhere else. This is how the system are going to work out itself.
Yes, yes.
So, but as protecting say, some of the bus are going to break down the road. No, it's not going to happen. But as it go along, we will perfect the system a little better. We will fine tune it until we get it at a first level.
But what may I say, Chuck? Let me finish. What may I say with Peter Bunting and Mark Golding? These two men don't seem no good for Jamaica. Anything good for Jamaica where the government bring in the man them. It seems like it's bad the government do. I remember back when Andrew Holness go to Peter Bunting and said to him, let's join together and fight crime. And
fight gangs.
And Andrew Holness go to Israel. And and Peter Bunting come out and tell the people them say, Andrew Wallace go to Israel for camera to watch on our backyard. Do not make
I remember that.
Right.
So it's the same thing with the good bus system. With the good bus system because only first world country, you see these things we're happening in Jamaica happening right now. Right? Because school bus as a conductor in Jamaica, school bus is good for the kids and the parents them because I see lots of kids in bus back, sit down in my lap. I do what they want. I do what they do. That about girl child. So those who take away enough taxi man get young girl pregnant. Enough the conductor get the young girl pregnant because the young girl them see the conductor with the whoop of money and they can't give them free ride or something. They get them pregnant. So the bus driver them too. So that we prevent young girl to get pregnant.
There's a real benefit
from school to home. The police can't do everything. The police can't secure the kids them from on the street, and the parents them need to come out and demonstrate against Mark Golding and Peter Bunting. Because what Peter Bunting and Mark Golding is doing is telling you, say, look, you know, let go your kids them, man, go do it, what they have to do with them. That's what That's what Peter Bunting and Mark Golding telling the parents them, let the kids them make taxi man, make pro back taxi man, have them in the back seat, do what they want to do with them.
Let's
exactly. Thank you, Chef. Marcia.
Yeah. I still gonna say I don't mind a good question or somebody really vetting what the government is doing, but my issue is that nobody vetted when he came out with the JUTC buses. When VAS came out with the idea first for 2 buses, nobody vetted how they're gonna fix it. All of a sudden, you hear Mark Golding and Peter Bunting run on stage and talk these unnecessary talk, right? But let's look at it also. Buses, where is he gonna park these buses? If he wasn't thinking, if this was, and this is why I trust my Prime Minister, I don't have to question that he don't have these things in places already, the infrastructure to service the buses, right? He must have. I know my Prime Minister. Okay, let's say, where are they gonna park the buses? Number 1, in Hanover. You listen to this. In Hanover, he's gonna have 8 buses in Hanover servicing 12 schools. In St. James, you're going to have 8 buses servicing 17 schools. Trelawney, 5 buses. St. Anne's, 10 buses. St. Mary and Portland, 7 buses each. Westmoreland, 8 buses. St. Elizabeth and Manchester, 7 buses each. Clarendon, 9. St. Catherine, 10. and St. Andrews and St. Thomas, 7 buses. Where would he park these buses if they didn't have stuff in place already? From once you have where you park the buses, you must have a mechanic there. Not only that, because he's giving so much buses to the different schools, right? If one bus is broke down, chances are they might ask them to come and pick up the kids then for that shift who they're on, and say, send another bus while we wait for the mechanic to come. Either them tow the bus to the garage, or they send a mechanic to fix it if it's just a short problem. Because this is what I see happening over here. When the buses come on the street, sometimes they don't even tell us that they're not coming. How many times I take the bus to work and the bus not turn up? Because the bus brought down them, say, and they didn't replace it. They don't have another one to replace it. So you now are left too late, because the next bus would be around 30 minutes away, or let's say around 15 minutes. Most of the time when they rush on hours is 15 minutes on the hour. So I'm thinking with a competent government who knows what he's doing, I don't have to question these things and say, are they in place? And I'm saying, in my own interpretation, most of these questions are not being asked. It's because of what Peter Bunting, they take away the focus from what the bus gonna do for the children and the parents. They take away that focus to say they're old buses, how are they gonna fix them? What is the difference between those buses and the JUTC buses and those high-end buses that are coming into the country? Of course, we have the infrastructure to fix it. This government, I know if it was PNP, then I would be worried. But my government, definitely I'm not going to worry about it. Absolutely.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just come up here to let you know that some of the boxes will be rotated because people want to participate
I'm coming
in
down
the conversation. Now. And JLP boss, sorry that Chuck is overlooking you. I apologize, all right? So you can open your mic and you can speak now.
Hold on, JLP boss. Allow me to just play this media release about the buses from the ministry before JLP boss comes in. And I'm sorry if Sheikah is overlooking your JLP boss.
I am extremely disappointed to hear the baseless attacks on the rural school bus system. These buses are used in the United States and Canada. They are manufactured in accordance with the safety specifications of the U.S. Department of Transportation, and they undergo a rigorous maintenance and inspection regime before and after arriving in Jamaica. Our student safety is our foremost priority. Upon arrival, each bus undergoes a comprehensive inspection and fitness testing consistent with international best practices, and they will be serviced regularly to ensure continued reliability. These buses will be equipped with GPS tracking that allows parents to monitor their child's journey in real time. With onboard cameras, speed limiters, geofencing, and a fully cashless payment system, we're delivering a safe, secure, and convenient transportation experience that brings peace of mind to families and supports consistent school attendance in a cost-effective way. I sincerely hope that we can move the conversation forward in a manner that puts students and their families first. The rural school bus system is a critical investment in equity and access, especially for children living in remote areas who often face difficulties in attending school regularly. Policies and programs must be grounded in facts. I hope the opposition can do the right thing and leave politics out of our children's needs. Senator Bunting should withdraw his false statement. I am really disappointed and disturbed by Senator Bunting's dramatic and false comments made on a public political platform. To suggest that the government is importing buses to harm children is really reckless and deeply irresponsible. As a nation, we must never allow misinformation to undermine efforts aimed at protecting and supporting our students, especially when those efforts are grounded in international safety standards and designed to meet real needs in rural communities. I am.
That was the Minister of Information replying to the PMP's comment. JLP boss.
Yeah, hi Chuck. Hi everyone.
I apologize to you
because I don't like to. Yeah, man, I understand. I don't like to interrupt people when they're talking, so I just been waiting for my turn, just to say my piece. And I heard, many persons speaking before expressing that, there's a lot of emotion, evoked in the past few days based on these statements, position on this particular matter. And it has evoked a lot of emotions in me, myself, because, I speak as a parent of 4 children, so I know what it is like. And I speak from the parish of Manchester, Northeast Manchester to be exact. And I have followed history and seen what our children have been through. As a result, I've even posted several videos, since this whole outrage from the opposition and, really shameful and, disgraceful remarks made. When I look at the system that we have in Manchester, I should hasten to say many parishes have different views on this whole school bus system because their experiences are different. In where I am, you can think of maybe about 4 high schools in Christiana here. You would have Spalding's High, or Knox College. You have Spalding's High, Alphonsus Davis. You would have Christiana High. You have Homewood Technical. And then maybe further, you would have Frankfield, and you would have some other schools, and you'd have Albertown and those environs. And then we look to Mandeville side, where majority of the schools are, and high schools, I should say. And I speak mainly about the high schoolers because they depend more than the primary schools. Most of them in the area, they will walk to school. Not to say that the school bus service would not benefit them, but I'm thinking more of those who go to a farther distance. Presently here, we have a very reliable school bus, a service, an independent person who provide transportation to our high schoolers. But the need is still great because for a month, I can tell you for one of my children to travel on that independent bus service, it is $16,000 per month. And I have 3 going to high school. So do the math, okay? So 16,000 per month.
As part of the PMP maths, that will take you 7,500.
Exactly.
I don't cut you now. JLP boss. I used to conduct bus from Mandeville to Christiana, so I know what you're talking about.
Finish.
Yeah.
Right.
So I know what it is like. I can pick up my children, but sometimes it is not possible because I have a business, some people have work and all of that, and you just cannot. I can't go to Manchester High, DC, be running all over the place. You'd basically be spending your whole day transporting your children to and from school. So I know what it is like. So when you talk about a bus service that it's not like the rural bus service is going to be the only mode of transportation, but it will alleviate a lot of the pressure that parents are feeling. And what they're trying to do, the opposition is trying to do, is to play on these parents' emotions You understand? Wanting them to say, okay, listen, this won't work and it is going to harm children and all of these things. And it is just a political ploy. It's just manipulating people and trying to get people to be fearful, you know, because there's something that is being presented to them that is good for them. And here it is, you're coming to tell me, don't take it. It will harm you, it will hurt your children. You understand? So I endorse this 100%, 110%, no pun intended. But, you know, I hope that it will work very quickly. And I get it. Yes, there are hiccups in everything. There are problems in everything. But it is a start, and it is a good start. It's an excellent initiative. And for those persons who have doubts, transform those into ideas and make suggestions. If you think that, you know, there is somewhere that, you know, they can say something that they can change, you know, to make it better. And that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you, boss lady. Very well said. Jeffrey, you need to say something.
Yes, I was saying I understand her because I used to conduct bus from Mandeville to Christiana, and I know what it's like for parents and the students will go to school in those areas. Because as I said, Chuck, I was a big man, and I see a lot of crazy things happen when parents send their kids to school, either fighting or kids in bus with conductor or drivers and all those things. I see a lot of it. So it's good what the government doing to protect the kids. 1,000,000% is good to protect the kids because the kids them up to today it's our future. And what Peter Bunting and Mark Golding do, what Peter Bunting and Mark Golding are saying, it's destroying the parents and the kids' mind. So what they need to do, come out and demonstrate against Mark Golding and Peter Bunting and tell them to go away, come out of the country and go somewhere, find a solution. Mark Golding and Peter Bunting have no solution for Jamaica.
Just quickly, one last point. You know, I remember about a few months ago, based on where my business place is located on the main, I saw a taxi man, right, with an underwear holding through the window, blowing in the wind. An underwear. You hear what I'm saying? This is something I saw. And I recall seeing him a few days after, and I said to him, I was so appalled. I said to him, you're a big man. What are you doing? What are you demonstrating having an underwear flowing in the wind? What is it that you're saying that you take off somebody underwear in this taxi? And the music and the gyrating in the vehicle, and that is what I witness on a daily basis. I don't know what is happening in that car, but you can just imagine. Imagine. You hear what I'm telling you? An underwear.
Chuck.
Okay?
Chuck, what she's saying is 1,000,000% true.
I
know.
And
that is why, if I listen to the minister, you notice the minister say the safety of our kids is the priority. So when they
not come to you next week, sir.
All right.
Make Rick Star go on. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, man. So me can talk from a point of transport. We work in the transport industry in England. See? And even if you buy a second bus or you buy a new bus, you can't stop a bus from on a road. Me drive a bus we make last year, 2024. And sometimes I reckon if I can drag it from the roadside because a vehicle mechanical, then that's nonsense. See? And we have bus over here around the car people we make from 2008. They have over 1,000,000 miles from them. 1
million miles and they still a carry people. So old bus, new bus, second and third and it don't really matter. Once you have 4-wheel pan and the engine work, we work with it. And you see one more point before me done. One more. This is something really concerning now when we think should have happened. Everybody in Jamaica where I run taxi should have to produce a police record every 6 months or once a year. And this is something where we think need to happen because we have a lot of scrupulous people out there run taxi, you know. That's my concern. And them a carry pitney. Once you carry pitney, you have to provide a clean police record. That's my that's our meeting.
That's a good point.
You can't have no accident. You can't have no accident.
Well, accident and almost your fault. I accident still. So
I mean your fault. Your fault.
Okay, okay.
Your fault because over here it's the same thing. If you have an accident, it's your fault. They're not gonna hire you. They're not gonna hire you.
Taxi driver need to produce a police record.
How often you have the accident? Because
yes, it lasts 3 years.
Yeah, like every
3 years.
Yeah. Once you have accident, one accident, you know, in the last 3 or 5 years or so,
They're not hire you.
Yeah, you can't be a taxi man.
Yeah, the police record is good too.
Alright, in Jamaica, what is the requirement to be a taxi driver?
A PPV license.
Just a PPV. Not even that. Not even that. Nothing. Just have a regular license.
But you know where I got here? You have fight taxi man. You give them a fight. Because man, I go break the rule and do it. And when police catch up on them, you go here say you get taxi man a fight. Because I'm bread and butter that.
No, right? Blessed, you don't need a police record. That's only when you go for your company.
Yeah.
But if you drive,
you don't need a police record.
You have a license and a man give a car. I remember who say he used to run a robot and him have a car.
But you know what is hypocritical,
there is no licensing process.
There should be. If you want a license to run taxi, the taxi driver requirement should be different. Yeah, have to have a clean police
but
record.
You know what is hypocritical?
And if you have no previous with picnic, no chance.
A lot of these PNP supporters and PNP politicians who are talking, when they migrate and your kids go overseas, right? And they go in these communities and take these same buses. I use bus them a take, because sometimes them a take bus. And them of them kids that take bus that have been on the road for all 3-4 years. You know
3-4 years a brand new bus that?
3-4 years a brand new vehicle, man.
No, I'm just saying to you that the bus
commercial vehicle. If you buy a commercial vehicle a 4-year-old, a brand new vehicle, you know.
All right, but all right. Let's say.
Hold on the first side. Let me read something.
Buses and the newness of the buses when their kids go overseas, go take these American buses. They will not.
Yeah,
let me read what Blessed and the flavor say in the tourism taxis have to get a police record. So what we are saying there now is that if you go drive around tourists, you have to check your background.
But if you drive around the picnic, we don't care.
That is not checked. Well, we need to change that for you. That really needs to change.
Hey, Sam, I think that's something serious where we need to even petition fee. May I tell you?
Evening, everybody.
Really
but before you run too far with it, midday, a big boss. Blessings, man.
Blessings.
So, not only that blessing, not only that, persons who are blessed, persons who are going to, let's say I own a vehicle. If I am going to hire a driver to drive that vehicle, he has to go and do a police record, right?
I believe so too.
And myself as the owner, I have to do a police record as well.
Alternative.
So, yeah.
Now, let's say I have one vehicle and after a year, I am going to put another one on the road. I have to go again and do another police record.
Yeah, man, right? It need to regulate, man.
It is there. It is there. So, yes, as a driver, I have to do a police record to drive for you. No.
It should be a mandatory thing.
It is mandatory. Right? Listen, you know, we have to understand this is Jamaica and there's a lot of loopholes. But once you are caught, that's the end of it. Yeah? But it is there. Trust me. I have seen.
We have the rules. Now we'll have to the enforcement.
The enforcement, and that is why that is why the Transport Authority is now on the road on a regular basis. Where you see taxi man say, "All right, me nah go run because them boy they out there."
I mean, say something the right.
Police record is required to become a. Where you say police record is required to become a taxi driver and a bus driver in Jamaica.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Now we ask it to me.
That is when you're driving for a company.
No,
like
man.
It's a standard requirement. Man grown it, but it's a standard requirement.
You mean a private driver?
A public passenger vehicle.
Yes, we are carrying taxi. Yeah, taxi.
Yes, PPV.
We have an enforcement
vehicle must. It's a necessity.
So it's in order to be a taxi operator, you should have a badge, right?
So Transport Authority give you the list of things that you need in order to operate. And the police record is one of them.
Right.
So how they go run it? So how they go run it, boss?
What we are going to have now? What we are going to have now is that these guys that will be driving these school buses, they will be trained. They are trained differently.
Yeah, man, that's why they start to employ them already.
No. And that when I take JUTC people, if you notice, the government is advertising for people to come and apply.
They start recruitment process already.
Yes. So they will be trained. They will be security check. They will be given uniform. They will be given them background check, and all of these things will be in place to protect. Because as we said, the thing is about protecting our children. It's about protecting the children, and it's finally being taken serious.
All right, Chuck.
Right. So when Mark Golden said, "My plan is to leave them in the system that has consistently failed them over the years." And that's it, you know. The system, the bus and taxi, we pull up at the bus step and say, "No schoolers." That is the system where they want to play.
Hey, Chuck, you know, the JLP has a manifesto committee, right? And their manifesto committee is to look at what plans they are going to put in place in the new administration, and keep and continuing whatever they're currently doing. The PMP has a committee in place, and I heard that somebody saying that. I was talking to somebody, and the person said the PMP has a committee in place. That committee is to look at every proposal the government puts out and find a counter proposal to it that will sow a seed of discord in the minds of the voting public, because the people are going and they will run with everything they hear. And the first time when the person said it, he said to me that, you remember they were talking about the house and say that the government is going to take back the house, right? And so that is where it started. So now they know that this bus system is a game changer for Jamaica. They have to come, right? And so the moment they say something, their people are so gullible that they are going to take it and run with it and not even look at it.
Well, let me give Jamaica 87 a minute, because I was just notified that the Prime Minister is live. I don't know, so once the Prime Minister live, we now complete with him. You know. So let me hear Jamaica 87, and then we go. Jamaica 87.
Chuck, I was just saying, being that the school bus is going to these rural areas, can we use these young men and women from the Archers NTA? Can we just teach them, because they are learning mechanics already, can we just teach them about these buses so the government can give them contracts, so when nothing happens to these school buses, they take care of it?
Already a part of Darrell Vaz plan. Darrell Vaz already mentioned Hart will be training these mechanics. Remember, we train large truck mechanics as Hart, you know, so that's already a part of the plan. Already a part of the plan. Darrell Vaz way ahead.
But to add to what I say, we know say the one them we are going to St. James, and possibly one of them in Hanover. I think them are going be under the, them have a metro down Montego Bay, right? So these are going to be under the Montego. Yeah, them are going to be under the Montego Bay Metro Management.
When you go to
Part of for them fleet, I think.
Chuck,
So them have them engineer them already.
Right? When you go for bus
Quick stuff finish on
like Chef, I'm sitting there. Yeah, so I said them have them own engineering system there. So I think that are where I go take care of them one day. Especially probably Hanover one them because hard to run from Mobile to Hanover to run the service and come back I want to be a depot, hard.
Yeah. As we say, the infrastructure is there, it's just to fine-tune it.
Yeah.
Just that. The infrastructure to fine-tune it and see what works best. So as me say, remember, the first time one bus punch up, it's not going to be a tense to see how fast the mechanic get there, and then we have to put something in place now to reduce that. So I just
definitely.
First time, we're going to have some hiccups.
The Montego Bay Metro. The Montego Bay Metro have a bus that goes to Lucy as well.
Yeah, them have one.
Every morning it deploys from Montego Bay to the bus park, then to Lucy and back.
And back. All right. So the infrastructure is there. But as we say,
servicing depot.
Brother Trump, you know you're from here, you know.
Oh, connecting there.
You have to give him the final say.
They are quite a while, I mean, you know my style.
Yeah, that I realize that. All right, make it fast connected, because you know the PM live, so when the PM live, you know, complete with him, so.
570. Funny thing, you know.
Yeah, man, I send them over to watch the PM live, man.
Yeah, man, I agree with that. I'll be doing that too. But I want to just mention a couple of quick points here. The bus that I saw the government brought in is not a new system to Jamaica. Those buses first came to Jamaica in the 1990s. Sandals Group brought in to transport workers, and I saw them for years operating on the North Coast. And I never saw them on the road. So I drive through water and I drive.
No, man, let me tell you what them buses do for years. You know what them buses do for years in Jamaica? And them carry farm workers at the airport.
Yes. So they have been around for a long time.
They have been around for a long time.
Mechanics what make are they though? A Leland bus?
No, I forget the name of the company. It's a very good company. I forget the
name.
Yeah.
No,
The
PNP is about disorder, and everything they do is about chaos and disorder. They want to pay dons and gangs and enforcers money to police communities. They want to pay fishermen to patrol the harbor.
Yes.
And then now they're talking about pay taxi men, something that has been tested and proven. Knox daughter was on a live yesterday. And she said she worked at Sesoka and charged several taxi men for raping schoolgirls, impregnating somebody. Yes. You understand? But that's what the PMP is about. This government is about order and principle. So let us continue to support the buses, support the government with the school buses so that our children can travel in an environment of safety. Nobody not selling nobody lap. And the PMP is also known to reject and to vociferously oppose anything that is good for Jamaica. We must get used to that. All right, so in the interest of time, I'm going to run. I have a couple more points, but I'm going to run.
All right, no problem. We'll be right back here tomorrow. But guys, as I said, the PM is live. Just go over and we'll support the PM. I'll be over there. Respect everybody.